Nice. What's up, everybody? What's Good Denver is a weekly celebration of culture and discovery and fun stuff to do in Denver for kids, couples, singles, and old timers. I'm Ryan Estes with Tom Woodward Donahue and the Aaron Gordon of podcasting, Troy Higgins. Olivia is on the road and will join us again in February. Today's feature is New Year's, new goals, plans, hopes, desires, and fears. We're going to talk about what we're about to get after in 2024. To follow the show, go to kitcaster.com/Denver and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. We stream Tuesdays at about 07 a.m. So come check us out there. Today's sponsor is Samana Float Center, samanafloat.com. A float center, if you're unfamiliar, is basically a large tub of water with about 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts melted into the water. So when you get in, you just float. And the idea is to get in there and just relax. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about my goal for this last break, which was non-sleep deep rest, which is basically you're not asleep, but you're just chilling out. And there's a million different modalities that people use and techniques, because really you got to fool yourself sometimes to not do anything. So Samana really provides a perfect environment for this. It's incredibly healing. It's incredibly relaxing. It's incredibly stress relieving. But in its own right, it's also just feels great. You know what I mean? It's like the hot tub sometimes could be too hot. You're getting in, you're getting out. Feels good on the bones. But this is just body temperature water, you know? So you can get in there. There's no sensation on the skin aside from just like the gentle push of the water against your flesh. It's wonderful. We love Samana. We love to float. We're floaters, okay? To book your first float, go to samanafloat.com and find a good time that works for you. They're open pretty much, I think, 6 a.m. to probably 9 p.m., something like that. So before work, after work, on your lunch break, go get a float in, samanafloat.com. Our music today, as always, is by Troy Higgins. All right, so it's January 4th, and honestly, I'm trying to figure out how to make my mouth work again because I have been horizontal, I would say, for at least the last 10 days. So we're going to try and figure out how to come back to work. One thing that Tom, Troy, and I, and Olivia for that matter, is the week between Christmas and New Year's, generally speaking, is kind of a low time. Everybody's kind of with their families and friends, maybe traveling a little bit. So we take that time off, and it just becomes this great a time to completely unwind, at least for me. You know, you can still get after it a little bit as far as travel. I did a bunch of stuff with the family, but largely I was intentional about watching a lot of football. I was intentional about watching the NBA, you know, and just making sure that to allow my brain to kind of release a little bit. I think there's a difference in our perspective oftentimes between the microscopic look where we have this predatory vision of going into something. And usually for me, it's going into glowing rectangles and trying to pull stuff out and put stuff together. And it's very finite, the tools, but sometimes you got to open up and just put the high beams on. You know, you're driving, you're in the woods, you're going to have to put on the brights. You know, so just throw on the brights, let everything come in as opposed to going into that field of vision. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been really good. It also makes me really grateful and excited to come back to work and feel renewed. And we got a new year, and there's a bunch of forward momentum, and it feels really good. So our feature today, like I talked about, we're gonna talk about some of our goals for 2024. We'll talk about highlights from this last week. But before we do that, let's do some events. Tom, you want to kick us off with some events?
Sure, absolutely. I can bring us back in for the new year. So, I think it's always nice to come back, by the way, and be back at work after a nice long break. And really, I try to do the same thing, just shut down when I'm on break.
The week is a nice reset period.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's such a nice one. And really in podcasting too, which we all work very deeply in podcasting. It's pretty much we live, breathe, eat, sleep podcasting. Nobody's really doing much on the holiday week. So it's really nice for us to be able to get that time to reset fully. Yeah, so events this week. Let's start off with some nice. Oh, wait, hold on. I just lost my spot. Let's start off with a nice bingo night.
Hey.
I love
There we
bingo. Um, bingo is super fun. I haven't been to this one, but it's at the Waldshank Ciders. It's in Globeville, and they are doing every Tuesday. It looks like it just started in the new year. So every Tuesday, bingo night at Waldshank Ciders. Waldshank Ciders. I can't say it. Check it out. Who doesn't need some bingo? I think they're starting at 7:30.
I've actually never played bingo once in my life before.
Oh no,
Need to
Troy,
do. Yeah, I'm
you
missing
gotta
out.
play some bingo.
Yeah.
My love for bingo was revived. So we had my grandparents were always playing bingo down in Florida when I would visit them, and my grandpa was like the bingo caller, but he would be like falling asleep while calling bingo. So all the other old people are yelling at him to wake up or whatever. So we always had fun playing bingo as kids at the retirement communities. But up until recently, hadn't played bingo in like over 10 years until this touring group called the Great Bingo Revival started reviving bingo. And they go around to all the music festivals. It's more of like a show, like a comedy act where there's really cool prizes and stuff and really funny things going on all the time. But during that, you actually are playing bingo, and they're like giving out cards and stuff, and you have the blotters and everything. So it's like a comedy act, dance routine, DJ set where you're also playing bingo. So that's how I got back into the bingo wave. And they tour everywhere. I just saw them. They did Meow Wolf last year at some point. Went to go see them there.
I'm
So
looking at their website now. This definitely looks like it's reviving bingo,
it
bringing
is.
bringing it to a new light.
Yes, check them out on Instagram. The Great Bingo Revival. They are an experience, and the prizes are always something that you actually when you're at like a concert or music festival. The prizes are something that you really want, and it's super fun.
Yeah, bingo's kind of like the original pickleball. It's for the nanas and papas.
Yeah,
Making sure they got something to do on a Wednesday.
absolutely.
There's plenty of time to get into bingo, Troy. It's the tip of the iceberg
Yeah,
here.
really, it's
Yeah.
you're not even supposed to be into it yet. But us early bloomers are getting in there.
That's comforting.
All right, and then second, I got a Denver Museum of Nature and Science exhibition. It's called Wild Color. Apparently, the deal is, and I'm definitely going to go check it out because I love the Museum of Nature and Science.
Yeah.
The Wild Color exhibition is going to display the colors of the rainbow, and I think each different room in the exhibit is dedicated to a color of the rainbow, and you learn all about what those colors, what emotions those colors typically exhibit in people, and then how they come across in nature, and how they're used in different ways in marketing and all this stuff. So you can learn everything about every color if you like that kind of stuff. And apparently it's a very visual and very cool, exciting exhibit that they have going on now through April 7th. It's been going on for a few weeks already, but
Nice.
we didn't mention it yet. So now through April 7th, you can think about going to see Wild Color exhibition. And then finally, you got to bring this up because who doesn't want to see Shaq DJ Diesel on Friday, January 5th at Mission Ballroom. I saw DJ Diesel once or twice, I don't know, but last time I saw him was in Belgium at Tomorrowland, and he throws down hard.
Does he really?
Hard dubstep, in your face craziness. It was absolutely pouring rain at this time during his set at Tomorrowland. Everyone's completely soaked, but still going super hard for Shaq, and he's just yelling. He's like, "We don't care about the rain." You should hear his DJ voice.
Oh, I'll bet.
He
I
just
think
yells.
it's so funny that he took on an entire DJ career.
Yeah, he did. And it's good. Like he obviously, I'm sure people are helping him make the music and stuff. Like I don't think Shaq's producing it, but
Oh, he has his own actual like releases as well.
he has some songs. Yeah, there'll be like collabs with other dubstep DJs. But mostly what he does actually, which is pretty cool, is he just posts. He'll just be like, anyone who wants their music promoted, send it to me, and if it's good, he'll play it. And he plays these huge shows and festivals. Like, he's really about like just sharing new music, and he actually can mix. Like, you're not just going there to watch Shaq jump around, but you kind of are. Like, you could see from the back of the crowd at Tomorrowland, he still looks like a giant person.
Oh man,
he's like towering over the decks.
Cool.
But he's always opening up mosh pits. He loves the mosh pits. Be like, where's my mosh pit? Be like, boys mosh pit over here. Ladies only mosh pit on this side. Go, go, go. He gets wild. So yeah, if you want to mosh, DJ Diesel, Mission Ballroom, Friday, January 5th.
I love it. Who would have thought that like Shaq would really become like an absolute American institution?
He does everything.
I think he's like a highway patrolman too, like legitimately like deputized, isn't he?
I'm sure
like-
he is. I'm sure he's like an honorary doctor. I'm sure he's a police officer, DJ, astronaut, basketball player.
Established,
What was that, Troy?
established surgeon.
Established surgeon, totally defense attorney.
He's just doing side quests now. That's what the
I
memes
know,
say.
totally. Yeah, he's amazing. Plus, it seems like his resting like heart rate is probably like 20. Like he is like one of the most chill dudes you'll ever see on TV ever. You know, he's like almost barely audible. His voice is so deep and he speaks so slow. So I need to see him like at full Shaq tempo behind the decks going crazy.
Definitely. I saw him in non-DJ form recently. There was like since the Nuggets won last year, I think that this is why, but the like NBA launch night party or whatever was in Denver this year, and I went over there to see one of the acts that was performing because of the whole free event and everything. And they were like broadcasting, you know, the ESPN or whatever, the basketball panel, which is like Shaq and like Charles Barkley and like two other dudes were broadcasting from like in the middle of the crowd. They had their whole TV set up, but then to get to it, like you had to walk through the crowd, and Shaq just didn't even like wait for the security line to get set up. Just starts walking through the people, and so I don't think anyone can really do anything to him.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I don't think he's worried, but he was just looking real chill, just walking through the crowd in his suit, going to film.
God dang. And he's what, 7'2"? Something like that? 300
big.
pounds?
Big dude,
God dang.
definitely.
God bless
Yeah, he's-
Shaquille O'Neal.
He's not worried about normal-sized people doing anything bad to him.
I wouldn't even attempt.
Can you imagine? I mean, I trained jiu-jitsu for probably almost 15 years. And like, what are you going to try and do with some jiu-jitsu on that guy?
No,
You
can't
know,
even like fit around his arm.
No. He'll just give you his back. He's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do up there with that neck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I give you a massage? Can we be
To-
friends now?
you
I'm
have
just
to
kidding.
Climb a tree to get to it.
Nice. Right on, man. Okay. I only got a couple of things because honestly, as I was going through kind of the event calendar, things are pretty chill in January. Did you find that too, Tom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are pretty chill. What I did see a lot of though, and people, if you're down for this, you can just look it up. I didn't even mention them. There was so many. There's a lot of like speed dating going on. Did you
Yeah.
see that stuff out there? It's like speed dating and friend making events, like lots of singles events. So if you're single and looking for events, Denver is full of them this week.
Go get it done.
Yeah, I
Nice. You
forgot to
guys,
mention
you guys both have are in relationships. You do that speed dating ever? You ever try that?
I've never tried it. I feel like it would be a good date night though. Go with your date, with your girlfriend or boyfriend or partner to a speed dating event.
Like double speed baiting into event.
Yeah, just go out there to, you're obviously just having fun.
As
But,
like a yeah, totally.
I don't know, maybe that's wrong to do to people who are actually speed dating. Or maybe you fall in love with someone else at the
Real
speed dating
fast?
event. Yeah.
You think it's got to happen, right? I mean, there's a lot of these events, so people must be hooking up from that.
I'm sure. I don't know. It's got to be something. I wonder what type of people are there. It must be.
A lot of fast talking dudes.
Yeah.
How long do you have? Is it like are we talking like 60 seconds or like 10 minutes? Like, what's the time frame?
I don't know how they work.
Be interested to find that out.
I feel like 5 minutes would be the fastest you should have.
5 minutes could be a long time.
Yeah. If it's really
if
not.
it's bad quick.
If it's not going well. 5 minutes would be really fast.
It probably self-selects though for people that are social and fun to talk to. I mean, that's kind of a fun idea, Tom, actually, just to take your like partner and be like, all right, we'll meet back here in 2 hours and share notes.
Yeah, let's see what's out there. That would be fun. I might be going. We'll see.
Nice. Cool. I got a couple of things. So one, I have learned to ice fish at Staunton State Park. And I love Staunton. Last time I was there, I got caught in like a terrible lightning storm, but I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit scared. I was with the kids, and there's this like really cool, probably, it's like a 2 or 3 mile hike. It's not really much, but you can get up in there, and there's these ponds where they got all these brookies. It's a fun place to fish a little bit. And we were in there, and we were just about getting to the pond, and this storm that we had kind of seen on the horizon come in, and it started cracking lightning in the valley approaching us. And generally speaking, I'm kind of a hunker down kind of guy. If it's coming in, it's just like, all right, well, we're going to get wet, kids. Let's chill. But like it got bad. And so I was like, all right, we're going to make a run for it. And we had to run out of there. But it's a beautiful state park. It's a great place to go. And they're teaching people how to ice fish, which I think is so cool. I've been saying it for some time that I think, once my kids are out of the house, then I'm making the transition from snowboarding to ice fishing. I feel like that is the way you mature in Colorado. Once your knees are just like, you know what? I'm at the point now where I'm like, I really like groomers. I'm down for a half day of groomers and grab a couple pints. Wait for the kids to get out of the skate park, So once I fully graduate to ice fishing, I think that's a place for me, largely because also I always have my eye on those big lake trout, the Mackinaw, the mighty Mackinaw, and the tiger muskie that you can only get really in the deep spots in the middle of the lake. And I'm just not a boat guy. I cannot give in to the tyranny of an isolation of a boat. I don't want to be on a boat. I want to be able to walk around if I need to. If I stand up and it's shaky, I don't like that. I don't want to be on a boat, but I want those big fish, and ice fishing is the way to get it. So there's a bit of a barrier of entry to learn how to ice fish, and these folks are making it easy for you. You got to have a certain amount of gear. You got to have a stumpy fishing pole that you can drop down in the hole. You got to have the auger to make the hole. You have to have some kind of like protection because on the ice there's some wind, it's cold.
Yeah. Like a tent.
Yeah, you got to have one of those tents. If you're lucky, you have a heater. You got an iPad to watch the game. Now, maybe they have these like really nice, almost like lazy boy looking chairs that you can just chill in your tent.
I've seen those.
You put a bell on your fishing pole. Now you can just take a nap. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's funny. My nephews love fishing, so I want to get them out here so they can try ice fishing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
It's a whole vibe. If you want a really good introduction to ice fishing, there's a great series called Fishing with John. And it's this old series from the 80s. John Lurie is this artist and musician. But he did this great Wisconsin ice fishing show with Willem Dafoe. It's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. But like it's really good. It's great. And Staunton State Park wants to bring ice fishing to everybody else. So go out there. I think all you got to pay is the state park fees, which is probably I think it's like $18 for the car. So a really cool thing to do. And I think they're doing that on Thursdays and Sundays for the foreseeable future. So go do some ice fishing. The other thing on my events calendar this week is the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are playing the Magic on Thursday at home, and we've got the Pistons on Sunday. Watching the Nuggets the last couple of weeks, they're really coming together. They've been battling a little bit of injuries here and there, and then it was really cool to see Aaron Gordon come back last night. I don't know if you guys caught this story, about Aaron Gordon?
Oh no.
So the Nuggets played one on Christmas Day. Aaron Gordon had a double-double. He played great. But after that, there was some kind of melee at the Gordon family home, that resulted in him getting, I think, 23 stitches on his face and his shooting hand from attacked by a dog.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's something to this story, because they didn't talk about which dog it was. They didn't talk about whose dog. They didn't say anything. They're just like, hey, Aaron Gordon is going to be out for the foreseeable future. He's getting, treatments on his hand and his face, which ended up just being stitches. He didn't need like surgeries or anything. And he played last night, played really well, was shooting threes and looked fine. But still,
he played. I thought you said he was going to be out.
He was out for a week. So I think he was out long enough to like get the stitches out, but still is a little bit bandaged. You couldn't see in his face, They weren't zooming in. No one's asking any questions. No one's talking. So it's like, all right, well, maybe I don't need to know anything. But, he did show up to the game with this gigantic diamond encrusted Cuban link chain with a big bulldog pendant.
Really?
Yeah. Was that new?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I did a little digging, and like on his like Instagram, he has a Rottweiler. So there's a picture of him. I believe it was like the day of Christmas or the day before, and there's a Rottweiler and there's like a doodle. It's like one of those poodle mixed dogs. Both of them had a suspicious look in their eye. These dogs,
Interesting.
So I don't know what happened, but he's fine. Everything's cool, and nobody's talking about it. So, like, all right, we'll let it go.
I didn't even hear about that. That's crazy.
It's a lot of stitches.
Interesting.
Yeah. It amazes me how quickly athletes recover from injuries that would have most everyday people just down for a lengthy amount of time.
No doubt. It sounded like he was pretty bummed out, too, because the coach was like, he's like, hey, the physical recovery thing is one thing, but like, there's an emotional kind of like damage that's done when you're attacked by a dog. I don't know if you guys have ever been bit by a dog.
Yeah,
No.
I got bit once. Not too bad, but enough to make it bleed and hurt.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, I got attacked by a dog when I was a kid, and like to this day, I really don't like dogs because of that. That chow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't want to speculate, but like Aaron Gordon is a very large man. He's at least 6'10". There's no way a dog's jumping up into his face. That's not true. So chances are he's probably in some dog's face. You can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. You want to ruffle her face and be like, well, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? No, that's a bad idea.
Could have been a dog fight or something.
Yeah,
dog
could be
battle
dog
going
fight.
on that he was trying to separate his dog from another dog and
Yeah.
got some bites in the process.
Yeah. You're leaned over. I just imagine. I mean, like he's got to be way leaned over, right? But
Gotta be down.
yeah, maybe it was. Maybe it was a dog fight. I don't know. I would like to have some details as those emerge. I will update to let you guys know the status of the dog situation with Aaron Gordon. But really happy he's okay.
Yeah.
His hand was bandaged
Glad
up.
his
But
shooting hand is good.
he was draining.
Suck to have your career ended by dog issue.
No kidding.
That would be awful.
All right, I'm gonna dovetail this right into highlights from last week. So a couple of things. Again, I talked about non-sleep deep rest. I did a lot of that, just as much as I possibly could. The temptation of the laptop, pop it open and look through emails and stuff. I just really didn't. And so, that felt good to stay disciplined and doing nothing, which oftentimes can be like the hardest thing to do is nothing, particularly for, ambitious overachievers and, busy people, particularly if you have a family. I got 2 teenagers and just their sports and social lives and, Heidi and everything she's got. We have family and, sneaking the week to just chill as hard as possibly can. It was crucial. So that gave me a lot of opportunities for some screen time and to catch up on some podcasts. So I checked out, speaking of the Nuggets, the Curious Mike podcast, which is Michael Porter Jr.'s podcast. And Mike Porter is an amazing shooter for the Nuggets, but you think you get to know a guy. You watch him, he's kind of got like I would say a Drake energy kind of got the pretty boy, you know, he licks his lips before he talks. He's got a certain swagger to him. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I judge the guy, and I judge the guy inappropriately. After I listened to his podcast, I'm like, wow, this guy is exact opposite than what I thought. He's a very sweet, sincere, earnest person. And the Curious Mike podcast is absolutely extraordinary. He's got an episode with Nikola Jokic. He's got an episode with Peyton Manning. He's got an episode with Von Miller. He's got all these episodes. It's like 30, 45 minutes. And what he's doing is he's like asking people, hey, man, like, you know, aside from basketball, man, what's up with this life? Like, what do you want to do? What kind of person do you want to be? It's like,
That's cool.
yeah, it's really sweet. And he spent most of the time in his conversation with Peyton Manning being like, how did you meet your wife? Oh, she seems so nice. That's so cool. What's up, Riley? And just like, you could tell he's looking for love. And he's having a hard time finding it because honestly, if you're a millionaire and you're 6'10", how do his question is like, the folks that seem to be in successful relationships just married their high school sweetheart. But now, once I'm an established superstar, how am I going to find love? It's great.
That's wild.
He talks to Aaron Gordon about that, and it's an amazing podcast. The Curious Mike podcast. I definitely recommend it for people. The other thing I checked out was Killers of the Flower Moon, which is Scorsese's new movie with DiCaprio and De Niro. Have you guys seen that yet?
I saw that one. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I have not. I know what the story's about though, and it sounds really great.
Yeah. It's a really good movie, I thought.
Yeah, I thought the same. I enjoyed it. I think it was like a 3-hour movie, but it's one of those where you almost forget that you've been sitting there for 3 hours because you're just so invested.
Totally. Yeah, the characters are like really, really interesting and dynamic. There's like kind of a terrible thing that's happening, but there's like these like fun kind of comedic moments. I mean, there's like 20 murders, so it's not really like a pick-me-up kind of story. But it's really well done all the way around, and it's kind of it's this like post-Old West, pre-industrial area time that doesn't get a lot of spotlight.
Yeah, it's an interesting time period of that story. McKenna was reading the book, so that's why I know all about it without seeing the movie, but it sounds like a really unique time period. Like, when like gangsters and stuff are popping up in New York City, like what was happening over there,
Yeah. It was just a micro time of like, I think it was late 1800s, like 1890s to like the 19 teens, and I read the book too. And the book is a lot more like FBI. It's about the FBI a lot more because the Killers of the Flower Moon was the first murder investigation that was headed up by the FBI. Yeah. And so the FBI makes an appearance in the film, but not probably until you're like at 2 hours, 45 minutes into it. So it's a little bit FBI, but not as much as the book. But, the basic setting is like, after the Osage Indians had been put onto the reservation, they discover oil. And so they basically leased the land to oil developers, and the Osage Indian tribe ends up getting 10% revenue on all this oil that's just pumping out of the ground. One of the biggest oil stakes ever found, and so you have this area in Oklahoma where the Osage Indians are balling out of control. They got cars now, they got these estates, they got cattle ranches, they have, house cleaners, and they have cooks and stuff, so all of their servants are white people, and they're like really kind of like flip this whole power dynamic. But of course, there's some nefarious characters that are trying to get in on these like stakes for their oil. Anyway, it's a beautiful movie, and I really feel like the tributes they did to the Osage culture is extensive and beautiful, the way they wove that in there. So I don't know if people are looking for, and Troy, I think it might even be like 3.5 hours. It's very long.
It's super long. Yeah, I remember. That was one of the main takeaways I remember.
Yeah.
I watched anything with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, though.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for that guy.
Me too. And in this movie, it's kind of interesting too, because he doesn't play like his normal, like, sophisticated, like savvy, smart guy. He's always like kind of the man, you know, in his movies. He's the man. In this, he's like an idiot. He's just kind of like this doofus goon that is like killing people. He's really kind of the pawn of his uncle, which is Robert De Niro, who absolutely just kills it, you know. So Scorsese, whatever he's on, he did that last movie for Netflix. Remember, it was like the Irishman, and that thing was like 6 hours long. So Scorsese's like, dude, I'm Scorsese. It's gonna be how long it's gonna be, and we're like, okay, that's cool, whatever.
Yeah. You don't tell him how long it's going to be.
No, you don't. So that's my highlights from last week. Troy, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, just taking the time off, taking the week away. I spent 2 weeks in Maui with my girlfriend's family. It was beautiful. Just a lot of beach time, a lot of relaxation, outdoor stuff, nature, hikes. It was just a great reset, great way to bring in the new year. And we got back last Wednesday and back in the saddle, ready to kick off the New Year strong.
Awesome. Sounds great. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, so I'm super jealous. It's still a goal of mine.
It's awesome. It's extremely expensive. Like if I didn't have my girlfriend's house to stay at, I probably like wouldn't be able to go because like it just housing is so expensive there. I mean, obviously the hotels, your stay,
Yeah.
food's extremely expensive over there. It's really pricey.
Yeah.
But if you can make it over there, it's absolutely beautiful. It's an awesome place.
Definitely.
Did you feel like it was expensive even in comparison to San Diego? Because San Diego is not cheap.
No, it's not. Like it's about the same. The only thing that's more expensive there is gas and food.
Yeah.
The food there is like crazy expensive because everything's imported.
Yeah.
Like a loaf of bread at the grocery store is like $10 to $12.
God dang.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine then. They have to literally ship everything in, so.
Like a bag, like a family-sized bag of Lay's at the grocery store was $10
Chips?
for like a bag of potato chips. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Are like tropical fruits cheap?
Yeah.
That stuff
Pineapples.
is Course.
Okay. Nice. There's trade-offs then, I guess. It's like, okay, you can eat a little more healthy for cheaper, but if you want to be unhealthy and get the Lay's, then it's gonna cost you.
Yeah. There's the certain local food is very affordable. However, I do not recommend eating fish from a food truck because that was something I attempted very badly.
Oh.
I won't name which place, but one of our friends there told me after the fact. She's like, "Oh yeah, I saw a week ago that the health inspector, took away their certification or whatever for fish not being stored at the proper temperature." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh man.
that makes total sense."
You're like,
I won't name the place, but yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe avoid ordering fish from a food truck.
you'd think that every fish in Hawaii is super fresh, but guess not.
It wasn't the case this time.
Dang. Cool. I'll talk about a highlight. My highlight's got to be the Closey New Year's show. Closey, for people who don't know, is a tiny French woman bass mommy. That's what some people might say, but her style is like kind of like a almost like ethnically inspired, like worldly type sample bass music, and she just absolutely kills it. Her style is so cool. Similar type of people would probably be like LS Dream or like Grizz style for the bass, but Closey is just on top of the game. The production is crazy. She is awesome, and yeah, I couldn't recommend her more to anyone who has never heard any bass music before. This is really cool, and all the like worldly, ethnic style samples are really make it super cool.
Did she do anything special for New Year's? Did she do confetti cannons or anything?
There was like a balloon drop and a lot of lasers.
Yeah.
So you got lasers getting blasted, or sorry, balloons getting blasted by lasers, and they had crowd scanning lasers. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a type of newer, like advanced laser tech that is not really, you don't see it as much because it requires like higher permits and certifications. Like you got to really know what you're doing to do this because you can mess up, but you can shoot these types of lasers at the crowd.
And it doesn't like
It
blow
doesn't
their retinas.
burn your eyeballs out. Yeah. 'Cause something with the technology of how it fires the lasers, like whatever, like the timing of the beam or whatever. I don't know. The strength. They're still super bright and like really strong, but like when it grazes past your eye, it's like nothing. It's just like a normal light. But yeah, you don't see those too often. In Europe, when I was there, they have them at like every show, but here it's a lot tougher for them to get approval. But yeah, the people who really know what they're doing are allowed to use them, and it just really changes the atmosphere of the show. It's like typically your lasers are going over top of you, and like that's it. But when it can actually like fill your full field of vision, it's crazy.
Wow. That's cool. Well, it looks like she's got like Saturday and Sunday in October at Red Rocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, she will definitely sell out Red Rocks in a second. She did the 2 nights this New Year's weekend too. She did Saturday and Sunday night.
Wow.
So the 30th and the 31st at Mission. She lives in Denver.
Oh, really?
Yes. She's from, I forgot that. Yeah, she's from France, but she lives in Denver.
Huh.
So this is her home base right now, base capital.
Her base?
Yes, her
Nice.
home base
Base
for
base.
base. She's a really good. I would recommend checking it out, even just for a little Spotify session.
Nice, man. Well, let's move to our feature, Tom. And we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions without saying resolutions because for some reason the resolution word has become tarnished and tainted.
Yeah, goals.
Yeah.
Desires.
Yeah.
New Year's desires. What else? What can we say?
Desire.
I don't know. You want me to start?
Yeah, why don't you go
All
ahead?
right. I think I have my list here. All right, so I got a big January set of goals. I don't make my goals for like the whole year because I'm just trying to really have a productive January and then try to extend them as long as I can. But if I can complete these things for January, then I'm gonna be feeling good. So I usually do this every year, but just a sober January, like no alcohol, nothing at all. Like we're just sober, getting healthy for the first month of January, taking some time off. And then the new additions this year are groceries only January. So no eating out, no takeout, nothing like that. Got to save some money. Groceries only, home prepared meals, packed lunches, everything. Planner January, and I talked about the planner that I ordered, and to my surprise, it is a friggin' monster.
Look at that
way
thing.
bigger than I actually expected.
Oh, wow.
Hold on, let me switch to the.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's huge. I did not think it was gonna be this big. Hold on, I'm trying to switch the camera. Look at this compared to my head. Like
You get one of those.
most of my planners are like this big, you know. Maybe a quarter of this size, but I was not expecting.
Dude, that's
it
a
to
lot
be
of
like
plans,
this.
bro.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
there's so
Fit a
much,
lot of plans in there.
so much planning, but I don't know if here, like, try to see this, Ryan. Like, we got
Okay,
a
yeah.
monthly thing going on here, which is nice. You get some
Nice.
deadlines, but what I really like is these. Hold on. Sorry, it's massive.
It's got some like prompts.
Look at these like dailies. So you
Cool.
can have to-do lists for the day, and then you can check off certain things. I don't know if the camera's really getting it, but
No, I
I'm
can see it. That's
it's cool. You can
That's
you
awesome.
can track your mood, top 3 tasks of the day, your to-do lists, certain accomplishments you need to finish for the day. And they got a bunch of like quotes and stuff.
Nice.
A little Confucius action. So yeah, that's the planner is bigger. than I thought it was gonna be. But
I know I already asked you, but I forget. What was the name of the company again that does those planners?
oh, this one,
That was the one you told me about, right?
yeah, this one. Well, I sent you like there's different systems that you can use. This one works off of a certain one that's like a to-do list focused system, which is what I like. But this one is called Productivity Store Planner.
Productivity store.
Yes. Oh yeah, and then you got these stickers that are for all different types of things, like urgent and don't forget, or date night, or gym. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna use these, or like these stickers like check marks and X's and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dollar
I'll
sign
use
one.
those.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then wait, I thought I had one more thing. Oh yeah, the last thing for the January goal is gym 4 times a week. I'm good at F45 right now, so F45 4 times a week in January. So we got sober, groceries, planner, and F45.
That's a heck of a January right there.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a whole, self-improvement focused January and money-saving January as well.
Starting off the year right.
Yes, but we'll see how long each one goes into February. But
Are you? Is that January going to be super thick in the planner, and then February a little less, and then by the
Maybe.
time June it's just blank?
this thing's gonna like freaking be gone. It's
I like the weight of it, though. I
It's
mean, that thing
huge.
is gonna. It's like a big invitation. It's like, Tom, come crack me open and take some notes.
It is crazy. This is the largest book I've owned in a while.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge. But yeah, no, I really like the daily task separation because I want to, and it has the built-in check boxes for you to check off or use your stickers to check off.
Yeah. Nice, man.
So that's what I'm doing. Troy, what about you for the new year?
Yeah. Well, to beat a dead horse, I know I've been saying this one for a while, but top priorities relocate. Kind of took some time away from the house search with the break and decompress with the family, but gonna get back on that and relocating up to beautiful Los Angeles. Second thing is launching my personal portfolio website, kind of like essentially a landing page of just all the different projects I'm working on, what I'm doing, and a place I can send people if they want to collaborate work. I've had the domain for 2 years now, and the website has been in the works for a while now, but really want to button that up and get that thing live. Remembering to stay active also. Working fully remote, it's so easy to just fall in the habit of just sitting down all day and not doing much. And I really want to be more disciplined and get out, go on runs in the morning. We're pretty good about we go on walks in the evening, usually a couple of days a week. But I want to start doing the 2 a days, so one in the morning, one at night. There's some stairs by my house. It's like a set of like 25 stairs, and for a while I was going there every morning, like running up and down it. It's a great workout, great cardio workout.
Yeah.
So I got to get that. And then the last thing is finally finishing that drum and bass track we started. Need to get that.
Yeah.
Got to premiere that.
Yeah.
Been sitting on the shelf too long. We got to wrap it up.
I didn't even know what to do when he sent it back. I was like, there's so much. I don't even know how I can and go on from here.
It might have went a little too crazy, but yeah, gotta get that thing mastered. We gotta debut it on the show.
We
No
debut
doubt.
it. I've actually played 2 of my own tracks at the show this past week, and they both hit nice in the club. So I felt pretty good about that.
Nice, man.
And then after this, Troy and I are going for a house or like a bass house song. That's what we gotta do next.
I'm super down. That bass I used to make back in the day. That was like what I started.
I was surprised when you said that. I was like, damn, we gotta get you back into that world.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Speaking of house, whatever happened to that house in New York with the chain smokers?
I lost it to this girl. She made a good video though.
Was it good?
She was really the only other video that was good competition. She was already a touring drummer for a very well-known artist, and she definitely had like a more established career than me for sure, like times 10 already.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought my video was maybe a little better.
Yeah.
But now I lost it. So good job to her name's like Emsky or something. Good job, Emsky. You
Good
beat
job.
me. Fair and square.
Were you like the second place runner up?
I have to assume so. They said, we were the finalists, and then neither of us know who the other person was. I sent her a little like congrats message. She's like, "Thank you so much. Oh my god, that video is great." I was like, freaking Emsky.
Can I come visit for a while?
I'm like, you better be successful.
Let's split it 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, give me half and half. Nah, I think she already has moved in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Jelly.
crazy.
It's cool.
That's so
I did when I was beginning of December, was driving to the airport and I saw the building that it's in. I was
Cool.
looking at it, I was like, damn, looks nice. It's in a nice Harlem is up and coming these days.
Harlem, really?
Yeah. It's not as rough as it used to be. It's
Yeah.
like new, hip, like growing area.
Cool.
So that's where it is. It's a brand new building in Harlem.
nice.
Maybe if there's another contest next year, I will be in it. So
Dude, that was close, man.
I know.
Oh,
It's close.
That's really cool.
that is really cool.
Troy, you should have got your video in. Maybe I'm sure you would have been a finalist. Honestly, not a lot of people entered it, and most of the videos were just like someone on TikTok being like, "Hey, I want to win."
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
the other girl is the only one who did something, well produced, like I did. And maybe like one or two others, but it was not too much competition.
you know,
Well, good for
Never-
her.
we're
Yeah,
missing that one.
good job, Emsky.
Nice. Cool. My resolutions this year are probably just kind of old ones that are coming back. Things that I've been working on for a while. My ambition is always to make one decision to solve 100 problems. A lot of times that's like getting comfortable with the thing that I really don't want to do and doing it first. There's a great podcast with Huberman and Goggins that came out, I think yesterday. And Huberman is making this kind of cool case about there's some aspect of our physiology that when we're doing things that we hate to do and we do them anyway, whether that's sit-ups or whatever it is for you, like it creates some kind of like, it creates like a biological signature in our brain that if let's say it was sit-ups for me and I hate to do it but Tom actually likes sit-ups, and so the act of doing sit-ups doesn't create the same biological signature. So basically the evidence is supporting that if like you're doing something that you don't want to do and you're doing it anyway, there's like a constructive element in your physiology, which I was like, it's kind of intuitive for people that do hard things a lot, because you know that there's some kind of benefit there. But I guess it just kind of underlined that point scientifically. But it's made me start to think about like, man, what are the things I'm really avoiding? That's the thing I need to be doing. So I'm going to try and weave that into like what's going to be important for me. Like coming into January, I've got some weight loss goals. I need to drop 30 pounds for sure. I've done it 5 or 6 times. It's hell. It sucks. I hate losing weight. I love gaining weight, but I've done it a million times, so I know what to do. So for me, I really got to make sure that wheat is out. Like wheat is definitely out, and really going to curb the snacking. For me, my diet is, I would say, 100% on point, and the workouts are 100% on point. The problem with me is late dinner, 11:30 dinner, and eating like 3,000 calories.
Yeah.
So,
I have issues with that too. I eat a lot and not very healthily.
late, and I know that I just can't. My willpower is very weak at about 11 o'clock. My brain will convince me of anything. Be like, dude, you know what? You did sit-ups today, bro. You should probably have 6 sandwiches. You deserve to sleep. You're going to sleep good if you do that.
Yes.
So I have to fool my brain, which is to like remove all this stuff from the house. But the problem is like I got all these other people that have needs for food, and they can eat anything and have abs, and it's not fair. So when I'm thinking about like how I'm going to game myself, it's like on one hand I have this voracious appetite that will eat the muffins and cookies and chips, whatever. If it's there in front of me, I'm definitely going to eat it, and I'm definitely going to go back to that about 4 or 5 times in a row. But also, at that same time, I'm more lazy than I am hungry, which is to say I made a snack box and I put it at the top of the stairs. My kids' rooms are upstairs, and it's probably, I would say, 9 steps up into this little hallway where I put all the snacks in a box up there. It's just far enough that like I go to the cabinet and I'm like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I put all the snacks in the snack box upstairs. And literally it's like 9 steps up, but I'm like, nah, I'm not going up the stairs.
Yeah.
So that laziness ends up helping me out. So I got the snack box up there, which is good. So that's out, and that feels good. The other part is going to 2-a-days. So in the mornings, I'm lifting. You know, I started that at the beginning of last month. That's feeling good, and doing yoga in the evening, some hot yoga. So when I'm thinking about my lifts, what I love to do is squats, deadlifts, bench press, cleans, jerks, snatch. I like Oli lifts. But when I'm thinking about bringing out my Goggins, what do I really need to do? Pull-ups. You know, I feel like my grip strength and my pull-up game is soft right now. And man, getting back into pull-ups is hard. That is not an easy exercise. So that's going to be my goals, pull-ups. The other thing I put in here is Dharma. Bringing the Dharma back in. One thing that I really like to do is like go on long walks alone and do breathing exercises and listen to Dharma books. You know, I love like, Ajahn Chah is a fave of mine. I like Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. These folks, there's something like very soothing about people talking about meditating while you're walking. It's amazing. It's like, to me, it's like the biggest hack there is. Because if you were, let's say, in some monastic life on the mountain, and you can sit and listen to this the greatest masters, let's say, that the world's ever produced contemporarily, you know, you can listen to them, but you can't listen to them while you're walking and breathing. You know, we have these like cool opportunities. So I'm going to bring all these Dharma talks back and Dharma walks and carve out some specific time. This also kind of goes into what Goggins was talking about a little bit in this Huberman interview, where he's talking about all the different voices in your head, and he calls them demons because I'm assuming when you're running 70 hours straight, the voices in your head,
Demons are coming through.
Yeah, they're demons in the way he sees them, but like every single person you meet in your own brain is like, dude, you should stop running.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I need to run for 70 hours straight. So he has this very combative relationship with the voices in his head, which has brought him a lot of success. But I admire his relationship with his own head, or own voices in his own brain. And to me, like speaking with them, or I suppose just observing the different voices inside my own brain in a gentle way, is like a little bit more helpful for me to deal with them. I suppose once, if I ever do want to run for 70 hours continuously, then I'd bust out some Goggins voices. But like, I don't think I ever want to do that. I don't think that's in the cards for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's aggressive.
It's aggressive. It's aggressive. Goggins is wild, man.
Have
Yeah.
you seen the guy, Troy? Maybe you've seen it. He's running the entire length of Africa.
Oh, I've seen some about that guy.
He's
not seen.
He's like almost there. I think he's like 3/4 of the way there. I'm looking at his most recent tweet. He's almost to day 250. I think December 26th was day 247, and he's averaging
his name?
like 50 to 60 kilometers a day.
God dang. That's a marathon a day, basically, right?
I think so. I don't know the exact conversion, but man, if you see the map of his like trail. You have to catch one of his like Instagrams or TikToks or something. It is crazy. He started down in like South Africa.
Russ Cook, is that who it is?
Yes.
Russ
Yes.
Cook.
That's him. And he's documenting everything. Like he'll tell you about what issues are happening with his body and stuff.
Oh.
If you see how he looks right now, it's like, oh my God, he looks like Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump is like emaciated and like
The
big beard.
is like all like this, and he just looks like he's been running.
Dane.
But I'm just reading another tweet right now. The Pan American Highway is a network of roads stretching across Americas and measuring about 30,000 kilometers in total. Oh, I thought he was going to say that he went this distance already, but he just commented on that light work. He's gone so far. I'm trying to find the total of how far he's gone so far. But yeah, he's raised 117,000 pounds for charity.
That's wild, man.
What's the total distance? Come on, man. Give us the good stuff. I don't know. He's started in South Africa. He's now over near like the Ivory Coast.
He's gone like all the way up to the like where it starts coming out west.
Yeah. He's around there now where it's coming out west. And then I think he's got to go around like the giant desert and like sand dunes and stuff. And I've seen some of his posts where he's like, I got to go this way to avoid some like conflict stuff that's happening.
Incredible.
But yeah, he's almost there. He's through more than I'd say 2/3 of it, maybe 3/4.
Wow.
But yeah, talking about running a lot. This guy's been running.
Yeah, shout out to that guy, man. It's just, it really is the potential that you have as a human being is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I ran 2 kilometers on the treadmill and I was like, I'm basically Goggins now.
Yeah. 2 kilometers.
I was fighting the demons in my head. Just
Yeah.
keep going.
Doing it.
I need to reevaluate my New Year's ambitions. Maybe I'm not doing enough because this is, definitely topping anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, Troy. You can't get your website launched?
Yeah.
He's done like over 250 days. Imagine running for like basically a year.
Oh.
Straight. I bet he'll be done before a year because with how far he's gotten in this amount of time, I don't think it's going to take him another 100 days to finish. But,
Yeah, I saw him talking about maybe it was a Instagram post or something, and it was cool because he's very optimistic and like he's having a good time.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's obviously very grueling, but like he's got a good
Yeah.
spirit about him.
Gotta be. At some point, the running must not affect you like too much. But I remember seeing one where he said he had some like blisters and stuff.
Yeah.
Or there was one where he's having stomach problems from like water or whatever. And imagine your water's hurting you and you're running that much. Like,
Well, it's like Goggins freaks me out so much because he's like, I hate running. I hate it. Every step, I hate it. And he does it like the same thing, like a marathon a day.
yeah, that's insane.
Limping, you know, with 2 busted knees and bad feet. You're like, dude, why? But
Wild.
asking the wrong questions.
Shout out to that guy.
Nice, guys. Well, hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're going to fulfill our dreams. Troy's going to find the most incredible spot in LA ever.
Yes.
Yeah, manifesting it.
It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's going to be awesome.
And Ryan's going to run the entire length of what?
Denver.
The Denver, I was going to say the Costco parking lot.
Yeah, Costco parking lot.
Go get some churros.
A parking lot. Yeah.
No, I guess maybe I don't really have a solid goal here as far as fitness goes. That's not good. All right, I'm gonna say 400-pound deadlift. I'm bringing that back. I was doing reps with 225 and it felt pretty heavy this morning, so we're gonna get 400, but it's gonna be a slow burn. I'm pushing towards like August, September. We're gonna try and stack some weights up.
That's
Nice.
big.
See what we can do.
My main one out of the ones I said, it's gonna be the groceries only
Yeah.
January.
That's hard.
I didn't get to the grocery store yet, so I did have to get a breakfast burrito this morning, but starting now, because I will get to the grocery store by the next time I eat.
You know, and there's a way to ease into it because you think like, okay, I'm gonna cook every meal, but it's like, dude, no, you're not. It takes a while to get to there. So you make sure you have the backup pre-made meals.
Yeah,
You know.
well, I'm gonna have everything. I've got some like big meals planned, and got my like daily lunches that are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Easy breakfast.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Troy, Tom, thank you very much. Olivia, I hope you're doing great. We miss you. We will see you in February. Shout out to Samana, samanafloat.com. Schedule your float. And definitely go to kitcaster.com/Denver. And please subscribe to the show on Spotify, on YouTube, and on Apple Podcasts. And that's a wrap.
All right. Later, everyone.